There's our target, the Hazardous, and we'll fly from the center of that to the center of the planet. And we want this high-res to be behind us and to our left while we're flying towards the planet. But if you come in from the other side, it's not a problem. When you're facing the planet and all lined up, just roll your ship so that that high-res is behind you and to your left. I'm not sure how important it is to start from the very center. I always try to be pretty close, and it always seems to give me a good picture through my canopy. I've tried doing this on a random line where you just put your ship between these 2 points, the center of this resource hazardous site and the center of the planet, and then fly till you're 12.5 kilometers away from this resource site, and then turn around and face the planet. And I always found the rock, but it doesn't give you exactly the same picture through the canopy. It's kind of weird. And if any hostiles do find you, you're not in any danger. You can just boost away and jump out, or you can boost away and wait for them to leave. And they'll always high wake when they leave, so if you see their high wake, you know they've given up the search. And now we're going to line up the planet. But I think it's faster just to jump out and come back than it is to try to start over from a random spot. And I put my mouse into free cam here, and that locks the ship on this path so that it can't deviate. Now I'm checking that the high-res is behind and to the left, and it is. And now I select the Hazardous again so that I can keep track of our progress, our 12.5 kilometer distance here. And if we always fly between these two big rocks, and I always think maybe I'll get hit by one of them, that rotating one on the right, but it never does. I'm not even sure it can. And you can just see it starting to resolve in the distance is that little pear-shaped rock. We'd eventually run into it if we're pointing in the right direction. You don't hit the center of it, you kind of hit to the left of it, or at least I've never hit the center of it, but I've also never missed it doing it this way. And this big giant rock just below us, and it's going to be we'll use it as a reference when we get our mouse out of free look again. Now I have probably don't need to select that, but I always select it because it's useful for leaving later. And I just come down to the edge of that big rock and then straight across. You also don't need to do this. I thought it might make it easier for people with different canopies and different fields of view. That roundish rock there is our target. It's about 22% painite. That big rock right beside it's about 9% painite, but I don't think it's worth mining. I have before, but these small lasers are so slow that it takes about 5 minutes to mine that thing out. And I only got 1 ton out of it the time I did. And the rock that we are mining, I think I've done this 5 or 6 times, and I've gotten anywhere from 7 to 13 tons out of this rock. And of all the times that I've been here, the 5 or 6 times I've been here, I've only had a hostile find me one time where I had to leave. We're going to skip ahead in the lasering, otherwise it's just holding the button down. And I had to eject limpets, but I always try to keep limpets in my cargo and let the refinery fill up before I start ejecting the last of the limpets. Otherwise you can get in a situation where your collectors die and you won't have any way of replenishing them. I could have kept two limpets, but I didn't know that, so I thought I might fill up that last slot in our refinery. Our refinery can hold 3 tons. And now I just put that planet marker I talked about on the top of my head, and then point the ship down until it's hollow. That way I know I'm 90 degrees to the ring, and helps with an efficient exit. And there's our one limpet, 7 tons of painite, 2 in the refinery.